evening, everyone. Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Councilman Messeri,
Here.
Councilwoman Miga,
Here.
Councilman Zazali,
Here.
Deputy Mayor Scavage,
Here.
Mayor Peterson, absent.
Please rise, everyone, for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Adequate notice of this meeting was duly provided to the Verona Cedar Grove Times and the Star Ledger by email and published in an annual schedule of meetings on December 14th, 2023, filed with the Township Clerk and posted on the public bulletin board in the municipal building lobby in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act. I'm going to go straight to item 2, public hearing. Item 2A, to consider adoption of pending ordinance number 24-924, ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and establish a capping. Is there anyone wishing to be heard on ordinance number 24-924? No? Seeing none. May I have a motion?
Mayor, I move for the adoption of pending ordinance 24924 to be published in the Verona Cedar Grove Times as a passed ordinance to take effect as prescribed by law.
A second, please?
Second.
Deputy Mayor, can I just comment on this briefly?
Yes, please.
This is a ordinance, and municipalities and counties are prohibited from increasing their final budget appropriations by more than 2.5% in the subsequent fiscal year unless action is taken by the governing body to increase the final appropriation subject to the cap by statutorily permitted 2.5%. This ordinance allows for an increase in appropriations by 3.5%, $148,534.49 beyond the increase otherwise provided for by law. Most importantly, this allows the township to establish a cap bank that is good for 2 years. Any increase in appropriations authorized by this ordinance that's not appropriated as part of our appropriations this year can be retained as an exception to the final budget appropriation in either of the next 2 budget years. Whatever we do not appropriate this year, we can save as a form for appropriations in the next 2 years in the event that we need to increase appropriations even more. I did discuss this a little bit during our budget hearings of last week.
Thank you, Mr. Zakelli. Roll call, please.
Councilman Messeri,
Yes.
Councilwoman Miga,
Yes.
Councilman Zazali,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Scavage.
Yes. Item 2B, to consider adoption of pending ordinance number 23-925, an ordinance amending Chapter 23 of the Code of the Township of Cedar Grove entitled Fire Department. Is there anyone here wishing to be heard on ordinance number 24-925? Okay, seeing none. May I have a motion?
I move for the adoption of pending ordinance 24-925 to be published in the Verona Cedar Grove Times as a passed ordinance to take effect as prescribed by law.
A second, please.
Second.
Deputy Mayor, briefly, if I may. This is expanding the fire department's membership. Center Company number 1 will now consist of 36 members. North End Company number 2 and South End Company number 3 will each consist of 31 members. As I said last meeting, by adding these spots, it allows for the department to actively recruit new volunteers.
That's great. Thank you, Mr. Zakelli. Roll call, please.
Councilman Messeri,
Yes.
Councilwoman Miga,
Yes.
Councilman Zazali,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Scavage.
Yes. Item 3A, to consider resolution awarding bid for water meter replacement to Meter Tech Utility Service. Township Manager, do you have anything here?
I
on
do.
this?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Through you, this item is an award of contract to Meter Tech Utility Services out of Kenilworth, New Jersey, for the replacement of water meters throughout the township. Meter Tech was the low bidder that the township attorney and our consulting engineer, CP Engineering, recommended for this project. As the council is aware, the township is purchasing and installing these new water meters for residents with an intake line of 1 inch or less. This is being paid for out of our pilot revenues, pilot funds. This is a switch to Neptune 360, the new meters with digital read capabilities and early leak detection, saving money and property in the process. Meter Tech will be communicating with the residents and the township at the same time to arrange for a replacement on a schedule that's conducive for our residents. These meters will be more accurate, ensure the township is not losing gallons of water or dollars in providing water to our residents. I want to add, and I want to make a special note that the township is paying for this. Similar towns are charging their residents for the meter itself and the installation, and any homeowner with a 1 inch line, which is 98% of our homes in Cedar Grove are covered by this new meter that the township has decided to pay for out of pilot funds. Separately, we are purchasing the meters, but the cost of installation alone shall not exceed $335,221.
Okay, great, thank you.
How long, can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
How long does it take to do a project like this?
It really depends on, we're going to have a pre-award meeting next week, a post-award meeting next week to discuss with the contractor scheduling and how they're going to get in contact with the residents.
Oh, so that's on them to get in touch with us?
It's going to be a joint thing through the township and through the company. We also want to do it in a way that's organized so that we can upload the new meter data to the billing software. But it's really, they get paid per meter, so it's as slow or as fast as we want them
Okay.
to do it. I don't anticipate it taking off too soon. There's some things we want to work out here in terms of the software and the meters themselves. But we do have 1,500 meters stationed at DPW with more at the warehouse. And as we need them, we'll grab them and install them.
Okay, thank you.
Great, thank you, Mr. Zakeli. May I have a motion, please?
Mayor, I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Messeri,
Yes.
Councilwoman Miga,
Yes.
Councilman Zazali,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Scarabee.
Yes. Item 3B, to consider resolution awarding bid for sludge removal to SpectraServe Inc. Mr. Zakeli, do you have anything to add here?
Yes, thank you. Through you, Deputy Mayor, this item is a contract for a 2-year term to SpectraServe Inc. out of Irvington to handle sludge hauling services at a price not to exceed 4 cents per gallon. The reason that we are doing this, and I indicated in last week's budget hearings, was because we do remove a lot of sludge from our sewage treatment plant. Something that the council should consider in the future is further refining the RBCs, or rotating biological contactors, which further reduce sewage into more refined sludge. Currently, we're taking out a lot more trips than other towns because the RBCs are of limited capabilities and we're hauling a lot more water. So something in the future we should look at is to refine the RBCs a little bit. But nonetheless, this was reviewed by the township attorney and our consulting engineers, and SpectraServe was found to be the lowest responsive bidder.
Okay, great, thank you. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Messeri,
Yes.
Councilwoman Miga,
Yes.
Councilman Zazali,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Scarabee.
Yes. Item 3C, to consider resolution awarding bid for the reconstruction of Sweetwood Drive and David Road to KM Construction Corporation. Mr. Zakeli?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. This item is awarding a contract to KM Construction Corporation out of Irvington for the reconstruction of Sweetwood Drive and David Road. This bid was reviewed by Suburban Consulting Engineers and the township attorney. It was found to be the lowest responsive bidder. The contract to reconstruct Sweetwood and David is not to exceed $278,141.50. This was previously bonded for in capital 2 years ago, but will be reimbursed by a New Jersey Department of Transportation road reconstruction grant. I anticipate beginning this work mid-spring. There are some drainage issues we want to resolve over there first that are part of the contract that the contractor will be performing, and once that's finished up, we'll be paving and reconstructing those streets.
Great, thank you so much. Roll call, please.
Oh, we need a motion.
Oh, I'm sorry. Could I have
Mayor,
that
I'll make a motion to
Thank you.
approve.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Messeri,
Yes.
Councilwoman Miga,
Yes.
Councilman Zazali,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Scarabee.
Yes. Item 4, meeting is now open to residents of the township wishing to be heard on any item on the agenda. Okay. Seeing no one, I'm going to move on to item 5, reports of township officials. Good evening, Mr. Zakeli.
Good evening, Deputy Mayor. 3 brief items. Just want to report that the mobile DMV was in Cedar Grove from January 22nd to January 26th. It was a really great success for our residents. It was widely attended by many. This is the 3rd time that the mobile DMV has been in Cedar Grove, and we're going to welcome them as many times as they want to come. It's a great service to the residents. I know many people were happy with that. My second item is budget hearings were held on Monday, January 29th and Tuesday, January 30th. This year, as the council is aware, I presented a digital budget, shaved a lot of paper, no more budget binders. This was just the appropriation side of the budget. Rebecca's working in the finance office to finalize the revenues, our debt statement and our financial statement, and our cap calculation. Once that's done, we'll marry the 2 numbers to strike a tax rate, which will be reviewed by the state this year, because we have to review the state budget every 3 years. And then hopefully we can introduce the budget in April and adopt it by May. And last, information concerning this year's community garden will be going out over the next few weeks. That'll be on Facebook and the town website. Of course, anyone can call with questions, but I do anticipate having the leases prepared within the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Great, thank you so much. Madam Clerk, do you have a report tonight?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor, members of council. No, I do not have a report tonight.
Okay, perfect, thank you. Hi, Mr. Jacoby, do you have anything to report tonight?
The Giants aren't going to be in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that, we are aware, painfully aware of that. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna start with, Ms. Miga, Councilman Miga.
I do not have any report this evening.
No report, okay. Councilman Misseri.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Good evening. I had more of a question for our township manager in reviewing the digital budget, and thank you for that, and thank you for the summaries. One item that I wanted to ask a question about is the debt service. Last year, when I was mayor, we we started to do some recasting of bond anticipation notes. And I was just curious how, that impacted from last year, and if you could give the public and the council just some guidance on, the comparisons to this year's budget, what we're doing regarding the recasting of the debt and payment for debt service.
Deputy Mayor, if you give me a second, I'll get
Yeah,
my
sure. Take your time.
debt service in front of me. So as, through you, Deputy Mayor, as Councilman Misseri indicated, we did successfully cast new bonds in July that refinanced a lot of our debt. The big savings there was a reduction in interest rates when we converted from bond anticipation notes to traditional municipal bonds. Our debt was restructured from 98% in bands to 50% bonds, 50% bands. For a comparison purpose, in 2023, our total debt service from the general fund was $2,360,040, and of that amount, $1,595,000 was in principal and $765,040 was in interest. Because of our restructuring and our refinancing, we're keeping the debt service number exactly the same this year, except the big difference is we're increasing our principal payment because we're able to reduce our interest payment. This year, I'm estimating to make a principal payment of $1,937,570 and an interest payment of $422,470 for the same debt service total, but the difference here is we're spending $342,570 more on principal instead of on interest like we paid last year. Last year, our interest rate was just around 6.5%. We were able to shave off probably 3% in interest in the aggregate, and when we did the bond sale on that day in July, we were about 200 basis points beneath where other bond sales were that day. So it's a pretty good win for the township to be taking this money, making the same payment, but putting it more towards our debt and not interest.
And what is the rates, what does it look like for this year?
So because we did long-term financing on the bonds, those are fixed at 3.4% right now. The bands, the bond anticipation notes, because of the credit upgrade, the market did drop a little bit, the interest rate, so I'm anticipating if we were to go cast again, we'd probably get in around 3.5, 3.6% on the bands. But because we shifted a lot of that debt from bands to bonds, that's why the principal is able to go up a little bit higher. But we are paying our debt down much faster than
Yes, that's
anticipated.
great. That's fantastic. Thank you for that. I have other questions, not for tonight, but as we are in the budget season, Mr. Zakelli, and you've been really helpful. And again, it was extraordinarily organized, and giving it to us in summary and also in digital form was very helpful. So I'll bombard you with questions between now and April.
So we're here for.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Councilman Zazali.
Good evening, Mayor. I just want to report, I attended the ribbon cutting for Dervish last weekend, and it was a very nice ceremony, but it's also nice to see that we're getting new businesses in the vacant storefronts in the downtown.
Yeah, I agree. I was fortunate enough to be there as well, and it's a lovely place. Great, thank you so much. I don't have a formal report tonight. I just wanted to let you all know that on Saturday I attended a New Year's ceremony at Sushi Buddhist Temple over in Commerce. I've never been there before. They were really lovely, and they're doing not just great work with their food pantry in Cedar Grove that serves more than 500 people in Cedar Grove and the surrounding communities. But they have pretty massive global humanitarian effort underway, helping primarily with disaster recovery all over the world. So I had no idea what they were doing there. It was really, really cool to see the impact that group is having here in our little town and abroad. So that was great. And then I just wanted to commend Mr. Zakelli after sitting through the budget hearings last week. The time and care that goes into making sure that every penny is carefully accounted for. I know Mr. Tucci used to say, I spend Cedar Grove's money like it's my own, and you have taken that baton and really have gone with it and
Keeping it tight.
extended that. So we really appreciate that. I know our residents do too. Everyone's hurting right now. Prices are going up everywhere. We're all feeling the pinch. So we appreciate you doing what you can to tighten up our budget. And we appreciate it. So that's all I have tonight. Moving on to item number 6, consent agenda. I'm going to read all of these together.
Yes.
Okay. Item 6A, to consider resolution concerning appointment of planning board. 6B, to consider resolution concerning appointments to the recreation board. 6C, to consider resolution concerning appointments to the Municipal Alliance Commission. 6D, to consider resolution concerning appointments to the Environmental Commission. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Nasseri,
Yes.
Councilwoman Miga,
Yes.
Councilman Zazali,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Scavage.
Yes. Item 7A, new business. To consider pending ordinance number 24-926, an ordinance of the Township of Cedar Grove, County of Essex, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 246 of the Code of the Township concerning tree removal and protection. Mr. Zakelli, do you have anything?
This
for
is
us
a
on
long one here,
Yep.
Deputy Mayor, bear with me. This ordinance, quite simply, provides much greater protection for our trees in Cedar Grove. The tree ordinance was quite old and outdated, and this update provides both DEP-required language and new township requirements that aid in preserving, protecting, and replenishing trees throughout the Township of Cedar Grove. Presently, under the current ordinance, a resident may remove 2 trees within any 2-year period without a permit. This ordinance changes that to allowing a resident to remove the same 2 trees, but within a 5-year period now, without a permit. So it expands that timeline just a little bit. This ordinance also says anything beyond the 2 years that would require a permit requires a scaling of what trees are being removed. Anyone removing more than 5 trees needs to submit a permit application with a signed and sealed plan by a licensed engineer that also accompanies a tree mitigation plan, which would be based off of the diameter of the trees that they are removing when measured at breast height. We also have a fee schedule in here now for those seeking to remove a tree. They're required to replant between 1 and 4 trees, depending on that diameter at breast height measurement, or they must pay into the tree replenishment fund an amount between $350 and $1,400 per tree removed, once again based off of the diameter. There comes an application fee for $20 per tree that an applicant must pay before a tree is removed and a permit's issued. This fee is going into a tree fund that the township has, which this ordinance requires be spent on the township replanting trees in any park, right-of-way, or public street. Furthermore, this establishes a cost sharing between a resident with a tree and a right-of-way that is not damaged or hazard that requests its removal. The resident would be required to pay 1/2 the cost of removal if the tree is otherwise healthy and it needs to be cut. As the council is aware, we appropriate approximately $80,000 in the budget for planting trees and pruning and properly maintaining trees, as well as for our Arbor Day ceremony that we do every year. Furthermore, there's money in this year's capital budget to remediate the VFW property, which the council has previously discussed by removing all impervious surfaces and planting between 120 and 130 trees on site to return the property to a natural condition. So this ordinance is beefy, it's important, but it protects our namesake of trees.
That's fantastic. I know a lot of folks are really excited to see that VFW area become green, so that's great. Can I have roll call, please? Or no, sorry, can I have a motion?
I move for the introduction of pending ordinance 24-926 to be published in full in the Verona Cedar Grove Times as a pending ordinance with a public hearing scheduled for March 4th, 2024.
And a second, please.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Messeri,
Yes.
Councilwoman Miga,
Yes.
Councilman Zazali,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Scavage.
Yes. Item 7B, to consider resolution concerning 2024 LoSAP for ambulance and rescue squad volunteers. Mr. Zakelli.
Briefly, this is just a length of service awards program. It's a program for our fire department and our rescue squad. For those members who meet a certain amount of calls, they get, the township pays into this contribution, and this allows for the township to adjust that amount of the contribution. Within the municipal budget last year, $72,000 was budgeted between the two, the rescue squad and the fire department, and that number stays the exact same this year at $72,000 again.
Great, thank you so much. May I have a motion, please?
Mayor, make a motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Messeri,
Yes.
Councilwoman Miga,
Yes.
Councilman Zazali,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Scavage.
Yes. Item 7C, to consider pending ordinance number 24-927, an ordinance amending Chapter 40 of the Code of the Township of Cedar Grove entitled Library Board, public by expanding membership of the Library Board of Trustees by 2 members. Mr. Zakelli, can you tell us a little more about this?
Yes, Deputy Mayor, thank you. State statute provides that a library board can have up to 9 members. Currently, the township ordinance sets that number as 7, and this ordinance, if adopted, would expand the membership from 7 to 9 by a total of 2 new members.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. May I have a motion, please?
I move for the introduction of pending ordinance 24-927 to be published in full in the Verona Cedar Grove Times as a pending ordinance with a public hearing scheduled for March 4th, 2024.
Thank you. Second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Messeri,
Yes.
Councilwoman Miga,
Yes.
Councilman Zazali,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Scavage.
Yes. Item 8, approval of bills.
Be it resolved by the Township of Cedar Grove, County of Essex, New Jersey, that the summary of bills, having been duly audited and found to be correct, are hereby ordered paid in the aggregated amount of $3,764,073.59.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Messeri,
Yes.
Councilwoman Miga,
Yes.
Councilman Zazali,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Scavage.
Yes. Item 9, contracts and agreements. 9A, to consider resolution concerning award of contract for special legal counsel for affordable housing to Michael Zedzniak?
Juziniak.
Thank you, of the firm Skurinsky Hollenbeck.
I'll make a motion to
Yeah.
approve.
If you want, I could comment on that.
Yeah,
Deputy
please.
Mayor. Mr. Juziniak has been the township's affordable housing counsel for a number of years. He recently switched firms, and this is just continuing him in his role.
Great, thank you so much. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please?
Councilman Messeri,
Yes.
Councilwoman Miga.
Yes.
Councilman Zazali,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Scavage.
Yes. Item 9B, to consider resolution concerning award of contract for land surveying and engineering design to Suburban Consulting Engineers. Mr. Zakelli.
Yes, Deputy Mayor, this is very exciting. This is for the reconstruction of Carlson Parkway and Smith Place. This is the design phase of that, so the engineers can design it, submit the plans to the DOT, have them approved, and then we can go out to pave those streets. As the council is aware, we were awarded a $398,000 reimbursable grant from the NJDOT to fund this project.
That's fantastic. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Roll call, please?
Councilman Messeri,
Yes.
Councilwoman Miga,
Yes.
Councilman Zazali,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Scavage.
Yes. Item 10, meeting is open to residents of the township wishing to be heard on any item on or off the agenda concerning township business. Mr. Young.
Stephen Young, 18 Young Avenue. I congratulate the council and its governing body on their foresight to purchase the VFW property. My dad was a charter member there, and that was post 6255, had over 1,100 members to it at one time. And I'd like to consider if the town would name that Veterans Park when it's finally done, and let the residents enjoy it. And remember the men and women who gave their lives so we have our freedoms. And it's never too early, but the Memorial Day Parade, last year, I'm in that parade a long, long time. And when it went down Bowden Road last year, I drove one of the engines from Center Company, and the attendance was pitiful. I'd like to know how we can get it back on a short section of Route 23, let's say from Bowden Road to Little Falls Road. If we have to approach the state for the state police, now that the DOT has realigned the lanes on Route 23. So I think that could be a traffic safety issue, but for the half hour that we honor our veterans, I think it's well worth looking into. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Young.
My name is Casimiro Souza. I live at 94 West Lindsley Road, a county road. So I'm here again, basically to beat a dead horse. Most of you are aware of the problems with the stream. We did a lot of work on that stream. Thank you very much for the help. Some of that work has already been destroyed, unfortunately. Now, we can't do much about the water and the quantity of water I see. But what's happening now is that, Mr. Zakelli, if you remember when you saw what we call the Grand Canyon, you should take a look at it now. Now, what's happening is that all of that soil and rocks are coming down the stream, and it's building up the stream to the point that the banks are becoming shallower and shallower. Now, I just spent $5,000 2 weeks ago to repair my side again. Mr. Lopez probably spent the same amount at the same time. And previous to that, when we were doing that major work, Mr. Lopez has also spent in the order of $7,000 or $8,000 to repair the stream banks. Now, what's happening now here too is that, and you'll see by the photos that I have here, Mr. Lopez has, that pipe is going to get clogged. It is here. We had about 3 inches of water 2 or 3 weeks ago. Once the water subsided, that's the pipe on my side. That's a 4-foot diameter pipe. It is half full, and it built up the stream 2 feet in height. Now, this is all coming from the other side, and it's all coming from that area, which is the Nunes property. You're going to see by the photos that we're submitting that basically the trees are all being uprooted. They're falling over. Another thing that's happening is, you're probably aware that there was a problem with the property above the Wassell property, that gentleman decided to regrade and build a flat surface for his construction machinery. Now, he was stopped, and supposedly it was restored to the original status, which it was not. So now we're having the effects of that now, because now coming down the Wassell property, there are new streams forming from the runoff from that property above his. So what's that doing now too is that's putting all the debris from the Wassell property on the road. So every time it rains, the storm gutters there, they get clogged. So Essex County is useless. I'm there at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, like in this night, with my tractor and a plow, clearing the storm, so trying to find it because it was already blocked and I couldn't see it. We had like 2 feet of water on the road already, and it was about to come down my driveway into the house. Again, Essex County supervisor comes in with the trucks, with lights. They don't even slow down and open the window and ask me how I'm doing. They basically just drive by me, creating a wave that actually went into the exhaust of the tractor and stalled. So that's a service that we get in there. Now, this pipe that's coming under the road now is basically destroyed. There's no bottom to that pipe. I've crawled underneath that road with a flashlight, which nobody from the county has done. So naturally, when you have all this water, it erodes all the soil on the sides of the pipe. And so now we have these sinkholes coming up on the road again and on the sidewalk. My sidewalk that Essex County built last time, It's already hollow underneath it. Twice in the last 3 weeks, they went there to fill up the hole again. I mean, this hole was so large that if I fell into it, you couldn't see my head. That's how deep it was. They just keep putting Band-Aids on this thing. And now in the front of my property, I got rocks mixed with cement, which now it's coming to my side because now they're trying to fill the sidewalk under the sidewalk on my side. So we're at the end of our wits here because you're going to see by this, I mean, this is dangerous. This is dangerous. That whole mountain is getting excavated. Now, I was told by Essex County that the property, the stream in my property or others' property is my responsibility to maintain. If that's so, then the town needs to get involved because I'm spending money, Mr. Lopez is spending money, the Jennings down from me are spending money, but above from us, it's not. And the Grand Canyon has doubled in size. You've been there. You've been there. You have to see the enormous boulders that are about to be dislodged from where they are now. And that's going to come down the mountain. The trees are toppling over. I mean, if I may, you can pass these around. This was once the water subsided on my side. And this is across where it goes into the culvert. And you can see by all of these, the effects of some of them before this time, but that was 3 weeks ago. So while Essex County was there, I showed them what was happening on my side. They went to look at it. Did they follow up it? No. I cleared all of that by hand myself. And now we had about an inch and water after that, and it's already a quarter of an inch full again. So the problem just gets worse. That area gets worse. Now it's coming down the Wassell property because of what was done to change the grade up there. I just don't know what to do. Essentially, Lindsley Road is a mess. If you drive down Lindsley Road on the left side, going towards Little Falls, you can see the effects of this water all down the road. I mean, it's a mess. There's nothing but mud and debris. I can't be out there every night that rains over 1 inch of water, physically clearing these storm sewers. It's just not possible. My wife has Parkinson's. She's there at the window, on pins and needles, worried about me. There's cars just zooming by me all the time. But I have to do it because nobody, Essex County, what they do, they drive down in their trucks. And they don't even stop and ask this, hey guy, are you okay? No, they don't. So that's what's going on there. Now, again, I've been told that we are responsible for the stream in our property to maintain it. So now the town needs to get involved with Mr. Noonan's property, if in fact that's so, and deal with that.
Deputy Mayor, would you like for me to
Yeah, Mr.
respond to this?
Zaccone, please, thank you.
So, I did, when I was on the council, I was familiar with the area. And I think many of the
Yeah,
council
we were
members
all
at the
out there.
time were out there with us, as was Senator Corrado. This is between two county roads, Mountain Avenue and East Lindsley. I have your contact information. I will call the county and try to get in touch with them and see if they would be collaborative with a solution. I think fixing the Grand Canyon, as you call it, it's not something that the township could even consider. We don't have the resources for that, and it's not our Grand Canyon to fix. But if we can work collaboratively with the county to at least facilitate a conversation and get the state involved if need be, then that's something that, obviously I think we're all more than willing to do. But I will say from our own struggles dealing with the DEP and dealing with the permitting process to deal with floodwater and bank stabilization, the DEP is not easy to deal with either. So it's something that if this is, something that's to be embarked on, that it would be a great help to have the county. And unfortunately, Ms. Hartwick's not here today, the county liaison, but I will be reaching out to her tomorrow and some of the other people to try to at least coordinate a meeting with all of us out there.
In the very least, we have to stabilize the soil in Mr. Nunes' property. We're not gonna the Grand Canyon is probably impossible to fix at this time. But we have to stop it from getting deeper and wider, and it prevent all this debris from coming down the mountain. So what's gonna happen when this pipe is gonna get clogged? Because I didn't take photos downstream, there's whole, half trees coming down this, in this stream. I mean, one of these days, something's gonna get wedged under the road, and it's gonna clog, and then they gotta dig up the whole road.
I mean, Deputy Mayor, if I may
Yeah,
continue,
please.
we've, since the last time I've been out on your property, we've established relationships with the Suarez, the contractor that maintains the aqueduct, or that portion of the downfall, I guess it's called. And, you know, I think between all three entities working together now, hopefully we can get some engineers out there to at least look and try to
Now,
fix the problem.
there had been some conversations and meetings with Essex County and Mr. Nunes regarding the solution up there where the problem is. I think he just died. I mean, never heard anything else again about it.
Well, we weren't privy to that, right? We weren't part of that, so I couldn't comment on whether
Right.
they took place or didn't. I wasn't
Right.
there. But, you know, what I could say is you brought this to our attention. We can go to the county and see if they'd be willing to have a
Please,
conversation.
because you can see the problem that we have. I mean, it's a constant expense and worry all the time.
Right.
Thank you.
No, thank you. And thank you, Mr. Zakelli. I know we were all out there, everyone who's on the council. A couple of years ago, we were out there and saw your property. We know what you're dealing with, and we're gonna help however we can. Thank you. Hi.
Arnaldo Lopez, 85 West Lindsley Road. Our property is actually situated between Nunez and Mr. Souza. So what he's saying, I don't want to beat dead horse, repeat everything he said. However, everything that's coming down from Grand Canyon is building up on my property, right? It builds up to the point where the banks are full. The water has nowhere to go except over. When it starts to go over, as you can see in one of the pictures, the water's coming right over the grass, right over the road, and right down Mr. Sosa's driveway. Very scary. I actually lived it with them when that was actually happening. It's not easy, water flooding in, you can't stop it. He's trying to go out there and trying to clean up. It's very dangerous. You have boulders, you have rocks. You hear him coming down that hill, and it's just crackling, crack, 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 crack. One of those things fly up and hit you, you're pretty much dead. Okay? And we, like he said, we are responsible for maintaining these areas. However, in the past year and a half, I spent over $12,000 out of pocket. Okay? About a year and a half ago, the town provided some aid for some of the residents in that area. Again, unless that problem is fixed uphill, it just keeps getting washed away. So I'm pleading for some assistance. We need help. Okay, we need help. This cannot continue. We out of resources, you know. We're asking for help.
Okay. No, thank you, Mr. Lopez. When Mr. Zakelli reaches out to the county, we'll be sure to share all of the information that you've provided tonight, and we'll do our best to get you guys some help.
Yeah, we desperately need it. I mean, this situation needs to be resolved somehow, or at least, some type of comfort. We can't do that. Casimiro says it. I say every time it rains, we're looking out the window.
Right.
I'm worried about the banks filling up and water going over to his property. He's worried about the water flowing into his property and his wife, and the garage is right into it. It's very scary. Right? I understand the resources. We don't have the resources. I mean, it's a big problem. Okay, but I don't know if there's funding, federal. I don't know how it all works, and we don't have those resources, right? But maybe you guys have better resources than we have and can reach out to the proper people.
Yeah, we'll be sure to reach out Mr. Zakelli is great about following up. This is something we all take very seriously. We've seen it firsthand. We've stood there with you guys.
Yes.
We know how bad it is over there. And we'll make the calls and keep calling until we get you guys some answers. So that's the least we can do.
We'll
So,
appreciate all the help we can get. Thank you.
no, it's our pleasure. Thank you. Anyone else wishing to be heard tonight? Nope. Okay. Do we have executive session tonight? Okay, so a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Misery,
Yes.
Councilwoman Miga,
Yes.
Councilman Zazali,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Scabbage.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.